Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Bienvenidos a su PUNKCAST favorito. Yo soy Quentin y voy a hacerles unas preguntas a Frankie and the Witch Fingers. ¿Qué onda, chicos? ¿Cómo están? How are you guys doing today?
Really well.
Well,
Awesome.
really well, muy bien.
Ah, great to hear you Spanish as well. I'm going to start with a question about your latest album, Trash Classic, that you released last year. It sounds more synthetic and playful, yet just as raw as your previous material. When did you feel this record needed that kind of experimentation without losing its punk spirit?
I think it's, just started collecting a bunch of synthesizers. As you can see here, I think this is on audio, but behind me there are a lot of synthesizers. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just fun to expand the library of sounds beyond just guitars. I think we were into that idea for this record, especially.
Okay, was it anyone specifically in the band, or was it the band as a whole that decided to start collecting them, or because I see them just next to you, Josh, but I don't know if it was the case as well for Dylan and the others.
No, I mean, Josh has always been the collector of synthesizers. I think we all have a love for that kind of music, and especially kind of working toward this record, we were definitely listening to a lot more like 80s stuff or late 70s stuff, just like that kind of human synthy electric world. And so, yeah, I think it was like a natural progression, like Josh learning how to actually play the synthesizers and just the kind of band's love of that kind of music all came together in a really exciting way.
Okay, just well, talking about learning how to play after Data Doom or Data Doom. I know there was a debate with Cheryl about that one. So you went back to being a five-piece band, and as you've mentioned, with more synthesizers. And how did that change, if it has changed, your way to write songs and perform live? Has it changed anything with to include these elements in your music?
Definitely, yeah. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I think it just opens it up a lot more. We used to have to kind of sacrifice an element of the song. In most songs, we'd have to be like, okay, we can't do this live. We would have to pick which part to play. And John here plays like everything. So, he can jump on guitar. He adds a lot in the synth world. Uh, and John, you've also like had synthesizers before going all in on the band with that.
You break it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, just the last part.
Right.
I think
Uh-oh.
you're freezing, Josh.
He was spitting too.
Yeah, I feel like he's cooking and we missed it all.
some
Josh,
glitch.
can you repeat that last part, Josh?
Yeah.
I collect synthesizers, but I don't invest in my Wi-Fi. No. I was just saying, like, having John allows us to be so much more creative. Like, he's an amazing synth player in his own right. He plays multiple instruments. You're a drummer first and foremost, so you have that like rhythmic, energy that you bring to things. And I think what I said before I cut out is like you also have a collection of synths before you started playing in this band.
Yeah, definitely. I've always been kind of like a amateur gearhead to some degree without like knowing what I have, per se, but still just being interested enough to tinker. So I feel like it was really inviting to like step up to the challenge, of learning Trash Classic when I joined and kind of like learning the world that they had created and really challenging myself in like a key and synth way that I hadn't in a long time. So it's been extremely creatively fulfilling and yeah, I think it, just adds another sonic palette that we're all like in real time figuring out how it works best. And it's kind of like guiding how I think we're looking into the next year as well. So it's been really exciting.
Okay, so
Well
I
said.
reckon from. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I just was saying well said.
So from what you were saying, John, I reckon so. you didn't write the lines and was more how to play them, or did you have any input on the record as such when it comes to writing the lines of the keys?
I believe Josh did the majority of the synth lines for Trash Classic. There, I think there was. I just joined within the context of the band once they had already more or less created the record, so was able to like put a little sprinkle on one track, you know, just to kind of like put a little mark on it as they were cleaning up all the loose ends at the end, which was really fun, you know, to jump in on the tail end of like the last bit of creativity. But yeah, it was more or less like, you know, learning the album, getting acquainted with the sound, learning a new synth, you know, the Moog subsequent that Josh had let me use up until recently. I got my own finally. So that was really fun and inviting, you know, just to like learn a whole new world in that regard. So yeah, it was emulation more so of what was already created and written by them.
Okay. You've mentioned the name of the album a few times now, which is Trash Classic, and the album as a whole talks a lot about trash, social, everyday, and emotional. Is that more a reflection of what you guys experience as a band, or is it more what you see happening in the world around you?
I think it's mostly what we see happening in the world around us. I think when we're actually, you know, I feel like we kind of stay away from subject matter when writing songs that happen within the band internally. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Dill or Josh or John? Anyone?
Yeah, I would say it's all of that. I mean, I think the name came from a pretty spontaneous sort of random like the energy of what we were doing in that moment. We were in the studio and just tossing around names kind of as we were recording, and Josh and Nick kind of both came up with it in a way, like whether it was classic trash or trash classic. So I don't remember how that went down, but I remember that being very random, but also very like on point with sort of where we were going lyrically, which I think was a lot about like overconsumption and, you know, just kind of the trash of everything outside right now. But then also it just felt like what we were making was sort of trashy and sort of like that more like human aspect of music that feels less polished and maybe a little more grimy.
hmm Yeah.
Okay, and critics have compared this album to Devo, Oasis, and classic proto-punk in general. Do you actually think about these references? You mentioned the 80s earlier in the interview, or do you just let the sound run wild when you write songs?
I mean, I think it's very fair to say we were listening to a lot of Devo at the time of making this. They're just the best. They kind of pioneered that like fusion of electronic pop and also like commentary. So it's hard
Yeah.
to not,
The
it's hard to
best.
not be inspired by that. But yeah, I don't think we never let's try to make a song exactly like this band. We just kind of listen to music and it works its way in.
Were you listening to any other specific artists maybe during the writing process, or did you have any other
For
artists
sure,
in
yeah.
mind?
I was really into this album, Drums and Wires by XTC. Just another band that kind of uses electronic instruments in a weird way and also is making pop music. That was a huge influence for me at the time.
Okay, okay, thank you guys. The next question is more about your experience here in Mexico. So you played Hypnosis Festival in 2024, and now you're coming back with more dates across Mexico. And I wanted to ask you if you feel that the Mexican audience reacts differently to the energy of Frankie and the Witch Fingers. What did you notice, sorry, anything specific at the festival when you played here compared to the US or other places?
I
I
think
think it's just. Oh no, John, go ahead.
you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I just think it's safe to say that like the crowd actually, in certain parts of the U.S. and mostly in Europe, you definitely get a crowd that moves around and stuff. But like as far as Mexico City went, it just felt like the whole crowd was just like an ocean of people just moving along with the music, and like the energy, the crowd energy is really unmatched, and yeah, that makes us just get more excited to play there, and makes us play better in the moment, and yeah, because it's like it's a two-way street between the audience and the band, and Mexico really brings the best out of us in that regard.
John, do you want to add anything? I know you wanted to answer the question as well.
Yeah, no, I mean he spot on. I would agree with that. Hypnosis is exceptional. I feel like anytime, no matter where in Mexico City that I've played, there's been that running theme of like just super infectious energy that kind of like Nick was saying, like you'll get it in pockets of the States and around the world in various ways. And sometimes you're really having to dig for it, and really like let's try and get it out of the crowd, and then you finally do. It seemed like from the moment we played the first song, at Hypnosis, it was just instantaneous, just like energy field that was unmatched. It was definitely a festival that I'll remember for the rest of my life. It was just a sea of excited people, so super exciting to play.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was crazy. I think
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
I think when we started to play, I think we played Empire first. I
Yeah,
want to say this was like the first time we ever heard like the audience chanting along to the melody,
yeah, it was rad.
which was just like mind blowing that a song we came up with in our little studio, like our little practice space, now people like thousands of miles away are like singing to it was just like I don't know, a crazy, surreal experience. Uh,
Wild.
Never forget that.
Yeah, it's cool because I think for us, like we don't get to come to Mexico very often. So to like see that sort of response in people, you just kind of realize that there's like a passion for music that's like way more potent than kind of things we may come across in the States or globally. Um, just that first experience of like seeing people singing along and things like that. It's just like, wow, we've never even been here. So like, how is this happening? But there's just so much passion. It's infectious.
And actually, it's quite funny because at your show here at Hypnosis, a friend of our staff ended up injured in the mosh pit.
Oh,
Oh no.
Yeah. So in general, are you aware of that level of energy at your shows, or is it more something like you only fully understand once you're playing, you're on the stage, and you can see the crowd as you were saying, no, the whole energy uh, from the beginning, or is it something you're really aware when you play the energy of the crowd, the energy of the level of energy of your music as well, the reaction of
I think it's
oh,
pretty easy to be aware because the audience is also aware. And so that energy kind of feeds its way back to the stage. Like if there's a human in trouble, then you're not going to see, there's going to be a shift in energy because everyone's going to be worried about how that person is doing. And a lot of the times, especially at like a bigger festival, you'll see people like, hey, there needs to be some help here. So for sure, that's like, in the back of our minds, especially in like a rowdy situation. But luckily, that's very rare, and it's usually sort of an accident, and there's no real like intentional violence to our knowledge. We don't really bring that sort of energy, but yeah, we're always kind of on the lookout for anyone who needs help out there. And I hope your friend was okay.
as far as I know, yeah, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Yeah, I mean, he's still around, right? That was like over a year ago.
Yeah, as far as I know, he is.
All right, that sounds convincing
The
enough. I'll take
craziest,
it.
the craziest thing to me is that a lot of the times people that get injured are very excited about that fact. Like we've had people come up to us after with their like head, clearly in need of stitches, like, "Oh my God, I had so much fun," and you're kind of like, "You need to go see a doctor," but
yeah.
also like, "Great, I'm glad you enjoyed it." But some people actually get a kick out of that part of the energy.
Okay, well, we hope you get the same reaction, maybe without any people injured at your next shows
Yeah,
here
no
or
plug.
anywhere in the world. Hopefully you'll enjoy the tour here in Mexico as well. Well, thank you
Okay.
guys. Stay safe and enjoy your tour when you're here in Mexico. We hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you.
And
Good to
thank you
meet
ever
you,
so much
Quentin.
for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.